Before you get into the options, do you mind explaining what some of the uses for that might be, like commonly?
Absolutely, yeah. So a lot of times it's debt consolidation. So if you're getting in trouble with credit cards and the interest rates are 29%, 34%, 36%, whatever they are,
Sick.
and you're in a spot where you just can't come up with the money to get those down. You're just basically paying the interest. That's a big one. Home improvements, that's another one. A lot of people are staying put. They're not moving as much. And, if you need that extra bedroom, if you need an addition, if the roof is bad, things like that. So debt consolidation, I would say number one, number two for home improvements. And then obviously sometimes people, will want to buy a second home or an investment property, and it's always cheaper to buy it. Typically, I should say it's cheaper to borrow the money against your primary residence as opposed to an investment property or a second home. So the options we have that lenders typically have for tapping into the equity of the home is the first one would be to do what's called a cash out refinance. That's where we do an appraisal on the property. And whatever it's worth today, not what you paid for it, not what you originally bought it for, but current value, and you pull a new first mortgage out, pay off your existing first mortgage, pay that off, and you have an altogether new loan, and you get a check at the closing. The downside to doing it that way.
Oh, quick question before we get into the downsides. What percentage of value can they pull out on that cash out refi?
Typically, you could go up to about 80% of the value, the current value of the home, the appraised value.
Great.
So if you have a $200,000 house, you're up to 160. If it's a $300,000 house, 240. So about 80% of the value is the max that you could do on a cash out refinance. But the downside to doing that is you get rid of your first mortgage.